Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Tonight we're talking about places forgotten, left to rot beneath our feet. We often walk down the street, living our lives without a thought about what lies beneath. Big mistake. Some places hold on to the past, clinging to tragedy and despair like their lifeblood. These places become haunted by what they've seen, by those taken too soon, by those lost and forgotten. Tonight we explore the ghost towns beneath our feet. Our journey begins in the City of Love, the City of Lights, Paris. Every year millions of tourists flock to the city, enthralled by its beauty and charm. But beneath the surface, hidden beneath the cafes and bakeries, lies a dark secret. A labyrinth of death, miles of tunnels holding the skeletal remains of over 6 million Parisians. The air is thick with the scent of decay, the faint scent of dust and death. The Paris Catacombs, a mass grave created in the late 18th century, a solution to the overflowing cemeteries. Imagine the streets littered with the dead, disease running rampant, the stench unbearable. So they took the bodies below. Miners, stripped of any former life, were tasked with moving the bones. Can you imagine the horrors they witnessed? The stories those bones could tell, the weight of 6 million souls pressing down upon them. Today, tourists wander through a small section of this subterranean city of the dead. Oblivious, they snap their pictures, unaware of the horrors that surround them. They don't feel the weight of the gaze of 6 million souls. But some visitors are not so lucky. They feel it. The despair, the agony, the terror. Some hear whispers, soft moans echoing through the darkness. Some claim to have seen apparitions, shadowy figures lurking just beyond the dim lights. One story tells of a group of friends who dared to venture deeper into the catacombs than tourists are allowed. They wandered for hours, the darkness closing in around them like a suffocating blanket. Lost and afraid, they stumbled upon a section of the catacombs that had been sealed off. Curiosity getting the better of them, they broke through the barrier, eager to see what secrets lay hidden within. The air inside was frigid, the smell overpowering. The walls were lined with bones, stacked from floor to ceiling, a macabre tapestry of death. As they moved deeper into the chamber, they heard a noise, a soft, guttural growl coming from the darkness ahead. They froze, their blood turning to ice in their veins. Slowly they turned to face the darkness, their flashlight beams dancing across the walls. And that's when they saw it. A hulking figure shrouded in shadow, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. They ran, scrambling back through the narrow passageways, desperate to escape the nightmare. They could hear the creature behind them, its heavy footsteps echoing through the tunnels. They burst from the catacombs into the night air, gasping for breath, their clothes torn, their faces covered in dirt and sweat. They never spoke of what they saw that night, but the memory of those glowing red eyes haunted them forever. The Paris Catacombs, a place of death, a place of whispers, a place where the veil between our world and the next is thin. Are you brave enough to venture into the darkness? Our next stop takes us to the Pacific Northwest of the United States, to the city of Portland, Oregon. Known for its craft breweries, its hipsters, its rain, Portland holds a dark secret beneath its charming veneer. Beneath the streets, hidden from unsuspecting tourists, lies a network of tunnels known as the Shanghai Tunnels. These tunnels, my friends, were not built for the faint of heart. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Portland was a rough and tumble port town. Criminals and outcasts flocked to the city, drawn by the promise of easy money and anonymity. The Shanghai Tunnels became their playground, a labyrinth of vice and despair. Unsuspecting victims, often tourists or sailors new to the city, would be drugged or knocked unconscious and dragged through trap doors into the tunnels below. They would wake up, often days later, disoriented and terrified, imprisoned in the dark. Forced into lives of servitude, many never saw the light of day again. The Shanghai Tunnels were a place of unimaginable cruelty. Men, women, and even children were bought, sold, and traded like cattle. They were forced into prostitution, drug trafficking, and other forms of exploitation. The tunnels echoed with the sounds of their suffering, their screams for help, swallowed by the darkness. Today, some of the tunnels have been sealed off, but many remain. a chilling reminder of the city's dark past. Those who dare to venture into the tunnels tell stories of strange noises, cold spots, and disembodied voices. Some claim to have seen apparitions, shadowy figures that vanish into thin air. There's a story of a young couple exploring the tunnels on a dare. They wandered through the darkness, their flashlight beams cutting through the gloom. As they rounded a corner, they heard a noise, a soft sobbing coming from the darkness ahead. They stopped, their blood running cold. They called out, their voices echoing through the tunnels. The sobbing stopped. Silence. They took a step forward, then another. The air grew heavy, thick with the stench of decay and the feeling of dread, and then they saw her. A young woman dressed in rags, her face streaked with dirt and tears. She looked up at them, her eyes wide with terror. The couple reached out to her, but she cowered away as if afraid of their touch. Then, as quickly as she appeared, she vanished. Some say the young woman is the ghost of Emma, one of the many victims of the Shanghai Tunnels. She wanders the tunnels, searching for a way out, her cries for help echoing through the darkness. The Shanghai Tunnels, a place of darkness, a place of fear, a place where the past refuses to die. Will you heed the warnings, or will you fall victim to the darkness? Chapter 3. Seattle's Buried Secrets. Our final destination takes us north to the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Known for its iconic Space Needle, its grunge music scene, and its coffee, Seattle also harbors a hidden world beneath its bustling streets. A world forgotten by time, consumed by flames and rebuilt upon. This is the story of Seattle's underground city. In 1889, a fire swept through Seattle, reducing much of the city to ashes. The Great Seattle Fire, they called it. The citizens of Seattle, a resilient bunch, decided to rebuild, but they didn't just clear away the rubble and start fresh. No, my friends, they did something far more unsettling. They built right on top of the ruins. The first levels of the city, the businesses, the sidewalks, all buried beneath the new Seattle. The underground, as it came to be known, was left to decay, forgotten, or so they thought. The businesses remained down there, abandoned, left to rot in the darkness, but they weren't empty. The spirits of those lost in the fire, unable to move on, trapped beneath the city they once called home, wander the deserted streets below. Whispers of their sorrow, their anger, their despair, seep up through the cracks in the pavement, through the vents and grates, a constant reminder of the city's tragic past. Today, you can take guided tours of the underground city. Walk the same streets those lost souls did all those years ago. Feel the chill down your spine as your guide tells you of the horrors of the fire. See the fear in their eyes as they recount the stories of the ghosts that haunt the underground. There's the story of the lady in black, seen wandering the streets, her face obscured by a thick veil. Some say she's the spirit of a woman searching for her child lost in the fire. Others say she's a harbinger of doom, her presence a sign of misfortune to come. Then there's the story of the phantom cigar smoker, a shadowy figure often seen in the old saloon, a ghostly haze of cigar smoke trailing behind him. Legend has it he was a gambler who lost everything in the fire, his spirit forever bound to the place where his luck ran out. Some visitors report feeling a sense of unease, a feeling of being watched as they walk the deserted streets. Others claim to have heard disembodied voices, whispers in the darkness, calling out from the shadows. But the most unsettling reports are of those who claim to have been touched by something unseen, a cold, clammy hand brushing against their skin, leaving them shaken and terrified. The Seattle Underground, a city frozen in time, a place where the past and present collide, where the line between our world and the next is blurred beyond recognition. Do you dare to venture into the depths to face the ghosts of Seattle's past? From the skeletal remains of Paris to the shadowy depths of Seattle, we've explored the ghost towns beneath our feet, the places where history and horror collide, The next time you walk down a city street, remember what lies beneath. Remember the stories of those who came before, of the tragedies that unfolded, of the spirits that still linger. If you enjoyed tonight's journey into the darkness, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more terrifying tales. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, my friends, stay curious, stay safe, and don't forget to check under your bed tonight.